St. Luke, a fellow worker with St. Paul, is the author of one of the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles, which would mean Luke contributed over a quarter of the text of the New Testament, more than any other author. Luke was a doctor and he traveled with St. Paul on his second missionary journey. He is the patron saint of doctors, also the patron saint of artists, because it is believed that he painted a famous portrait of Mary, our Blessed Mother. Saints John de Brébeuf and Isaac Jogues, priests and companions, were the first martyrs of the North American continent officially recognized by the Church. As a young Jesuit, Isaac Jogues, a man of learning and culture, taught literature in France. He gave up that career to work among the Huron Indians in the New World, and in 1636, he and his companions, under the leadership of Jean de Brébeuf, arrived in Quebec. A few years Father Jogues was captured by the Iroquois and imprisoned for 13 months, where he was beaten, tortured, and forced to watch as their Huron converts were mangled and killed. He returned to France, bearing the marks of his sufferings. Several fingers had been cut, chewed, or burnt off, but a few months he sailed for his missions among the Hurons. St. Paul of the Cross experienced a conversion to a life of prayer at the age of 19. Influenced by his reading of the treatise on the love of God by St. Francis de Sales and the direction he received from priests of the Capuchin order, it became his lifelong conviction that God is most easily found in the Passion of Christ. In 1715, joined a crusade against the Turks, but soon realized that the life of a soldier was not his calling. On his way home he stopped at Novello, where he helped an aging, childless couple for a year who offered to make him their heir, but he declined. At the age of 26 he had visions asking him to found a community who would live an evangelical life and promote the love of God revealed in the Passion of Jesus. Saint Maria Bertilla Boscardin was a follower of Little Flower Saint Therese of Lisieux. At the village school which she attended, she was derisively called the Goose. She was accepted by the Sisters of St. Dorothy and was given the name Maria Bertilla. When she was sent to learn nursing at the municipal hospital, the Sisters of St. Dorothy asked her to work as a kitchen maid till she was promoted to help in the children's ward. From then on, she devoted her time to the sick, but soon became ill for the remaining 12 years of her life. On her first death anniversary she was remembered with a memorial plaque at the municipal hospital which read to Sister Maria Bertilla Boscardin, a chosen soul of heroic goodness, who for several years was a truly angelic alleviator of human suffering in this place. Saint Gaspare was baptized with the name Gaspar Melchior Balthazar, a traditional name of the Magi who visited the child Jesus. He visited the sick and the poor often and founded a young persons' religious organization whose members prayed and did charitable work together. Soon after, Gaspare formed an evening society for the laborers and farm workers who came into Rome from the countryside to sell their wares. He provided catechism for orphans and children of the poor and set up a night shelter for the homeless. Upon returning from 4 years of exile, in view of the needs of the time, he engaged in the ministry of preaching missions to the people in order to re-establish some order in the midst of the chaos of the time by founding a society of priests, the Missionaries of the Precious Blood.
Saint Hilarion was born, in the year 288, at Tabitha, near Gaza in Palestine, of parents who were idol worshippers. While still a boy, he was sent to Alexandria to study and got to know of some Christians, and he eventually converted to Christianity. Saint Hilarion went to live with Saint Antony at the deserts in Egypt to learn his way of life and then returned to his hometown. Upon returning home,
Saint John Paul II was the second longest-serving pope in modern history after Pope Pius IX. Born in Poland, John Paul II was the first non-Italian pope since the 16th century. Referred to by some Catholics as Saint John Paul the Great. He is one of the most traveled world leaders in history, visiting 129 countries during his pontificate and significantly improved the Catholic Church's relations with Judaism, Islam, and the Eastern Orthodox Church. He upheld the Church's teachings on such matters as the right to life, artificial contraception, the ordination of women, and a celibate clergy. He beatified 1,340 and canonized 483 people, more than the combined tally of his predecessors during the preceding 5 centuries. By the time of his death, he had named most of the College of Cardinals, consecrated or co-consecrated many of the world's bishops, and ordained many priests. Saint John of Capestrano studied law and was appointed as governor of Perugia in 1412. When war broke out between Perugia and the Maladistas in 1416, John was sent as ambassador to broker a peace but was prisoned where decided to give up the world and become a Franciscan friar and started preaching even before he was even ordained. John was known as the Scourge of the Jews between 1451 and 1453. His fiery sermons against Jews persuaded many southern German regions to expel their entire Jewish population, and many were burned at the stake. Famous as a preacher, he earned himself the nickname the Soldier Saint when in 1456 at age 70 he led a crusade against the invading Ottoman Empire at the Siege of Belgrade with the Hungarian military commander John Hunyadi. Saint Antony Mary Claret, Roman Catholic Archbishop and missionary, and was confessor of Queen Isabella II of Spain. He founded the Congregation of Missionary Sons of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, commonly called the Claretians. In addition to the Claretians, which in the early 21st century had over 450 houses and 3,100 members, with missions in 5 continents, Archbishop Claret founded or drew up the rules of several communities of religious sisters.
We love it that you have spent your time listening to this video until the end. Would you like to share your experience of God's love? Come and join us at www.mustardseedscommunity.com/join-us. Till then, may God's blessing always be with you.